one of the surprises at the end of the Skyrim 10th anniversary concert in November of 2021 was the premiere of the Starfield suite. You have created this beautifully haunting yet curious score that has me and so many others so excited for the game. Todd Howard has stated one of the first things we start with on a project is the music. What was the process like of building the Starfield score so early in the development process?
So in 2016, I got a strange phone call. Says like, would you like to come over to our studios? We'd like to talk to you about something. It's like, well, when Todd calls...
Oh, yeah, you have to pick up the phone.
Exactly. You pick up the phone and you get the plane ticket and you go. And he told me, like, I'm thinking, with Todd is always like, I'm thinking about, you know that it's already, he was thinking about it. I was like, I'm thinking about a space game. What do you think about it? It's like, space? Come on, it's the final frontier. What do you want? You know, I mean, I want space. Give me space. And he started telling me what will later become, you know, Starfield. There was no name, there was nothing. There was just a vision that was sort of like brewing in his mind for many years, and he finally got to realize his dream. And Todd, more than anything, and this is why I admire him so much, he's a dreamer. You know, more than anything else. He just knows how to actually bring his dreams to reality in many cases. But he's just a visionary. And I remember that I was flying back and like my mind is like all around, and I sat down and just started writing. Just from his stories or the ideas that he was conveying to me, and again, early 2016, that's 6 years ago, okay?
Jeez, yes.
I started writing music, and I was like, wow, that's kind of cool. I shared it with Mark Lampert, who is the audio director for so many years, and my really close friend and collaborator. And Mark said, well, you know what? I think, why don't we share it with a team? Now, guess what? This really very same time, the artists actually started drawing. So they started playing the music, you know, in the studios, and they started sending me some concept art. So we were basically feeding each other. Nothing was set in stone. There was no gameplay. There was nothing, or very, very preliminary. But I think that this is the right way to build something. We're being conceived together. And the music that I wrote actually there, without knowing anything, ended up not only in prominent places in the game, but also in the concert.
It's a beautiful, beautiful suite, and we're going to talk a little bit more about it in just a few. But what has it been like jumping from composing fantasy landscapes like Dragon Age and distant dystopias like Fallout to now composing for a full-on galaxy of hundreds of planets? Are there any hurdles that have come with scoring a game with such a large scope?
You know, it's not about the scope. Music is always about emotion. So you just try to put yourself in the shoes of this person who gazes at stars and asks him or herself, what's out there? Where did I come from? I mean, when you just like in a starry night, I mean, these, you know, big questions, though kind of gullible, but yeah, they're, you know, comes to mind. What's up? Like, where did we come from? Where are we going? And you know, Starfield actually is brave and courageous enough to try to answer some of these questions in a very original way. I think that it's more about the feel. Now, there are ways to tell a feel with music, right? And this is why we're doing what we're doing, okay? And I was thinking about the means then. All right, so this is my feeling, this vastness, this, in one way, total emptiness, but then inside there's so much opportunity. what can we write? So you take the lowest note on one hand, you take the highest note on the other hand, you play them together, and then in the middle, you just bring one solo human voice. And this is basically how I started writing. You take a very, very low note, high note, and in the middle, human voice. And this is how the whole thing started. So it's a lot about how you translate the emotion into action and into real concrete idea or musical idea.